Rockets! Today we're actually going to send our dupes out there to visit the star map. We're going to try to make it to one of these carbon asteroids and then bring back a bunch of research so that we can obtain much more powerful engines and then go and explore farther and farther into the space atmosphere and bring back cool and new interesting things. So today we're going to try to make it to that carbon asteroid using a steam rocket. So using this cool tool that was built, this is the oxygen not included assistant, I can get some sort of idea of what I need to make my rocket work. So in this case over here, what I'm going to be using is the steam engine because that's the only one I currently have. I have to pull back research from my rocket in order to get the petroleum engine and then eventually get the hydrogen engine. So right now I'm working with the steam engine. You can see the amount of fuel required. It's only 643 kilograms of fuel required to make it to the distance of 10,000 kilometers, which is going to be that first asteroid. So if you're really thinking about just how much water does it take to fire up a steam engine, it's actually not that much. In this one single tile down here alone, there's 942 kilograms. So I'm really not going to worry about trying to capture all of the steam and then like recirculate it. That's not the big deal. As far as people asking about the question of, is it self-powering? Can you get power out of it? Well, yes, it will generate a decent amount of heat, and you can capture that and run it through a steam turbine to generate electricity. That's a thing, but I'm not going to explore that too much today. So the cool thing here is just how many research/sightseeing modules can I throw on top of this rocket. So it's just going to be, I mean, all we have is like 3 components, right? We have a steam engine. And that's it right there. And then if you put the command module right on top of it, then it's the shortest rocket ever. Well, maybe not ever, but essentially that's very, very short. The cool thing is that the research/sightseeing module right here doesn't weigh a lot as compared to like the cargo bay, which we do have to unlock. So essentially I'm just going to throw research modules on this, as many as I can. And if we use this tool, we can figure out just how many we can throw on there before we are out of fuel, because you can only throw as much fuel as this engine can take, which I think is 900 kilograms. So I think we can throw up to 9 research modules on here, which will bring back a decent amount of science, which we can then use right down here in the virtual planetarium to research, again, new and more interesting things for rockets. So such as solid cargo right there, or the booster, which is going to be right there, which will allow us to actually take one of these cargoes to that first asteroid right there. So if I wanted to, I could switch the format like that just a little bit and then reduce the amount of research I'm doing. And there we have it. I can actually make it there. But if I don't have a solid fuel thruster there, then there's no way to get that cargo bay there. That takes, if I remember correctly, the solid fuel booster takes oxalite, which I have yet to manufacture, and I think iron potentially. We'll see how good my memory is. All right, so the big question is, where do I want to build this rocket? So part of me wanted to just try to use space as efficiently as possible, in that I'm trying to build rockets from here to the left. I'm not 100% sure I want to do that. Let's go ahead and try to see what's going to happen if I build my silo right here. I want to build at least a partial silo. That's going to protect me from the meteorites and whatnot, and then I'm close by to all of the automation, so I guess that's good too. It's probably not a good time to deconstruct bunker tiles. Super meat, it's alright, it'll be fine. Alright, so now I'm just going to build these 2 bunker doors right there. And this will uncover the top of the map here, allowing the rocket to fly through. Now, because meteors can actually fall at an angle, I want to protect this down here just a little ways. I'm not 100% sure just how far I need to go, but I'm going to go, how far is that? That's 12. If I run at a angle like that, so that would be 9. So let's go 10 down, call that good. What are you doing, dupe? Oh, you came up to get some iron, I got it. And now you're stuck. What a dupe, are you serious? Fane, come on, man. Somebody want to help Fane out, please? Ah, that's why I couldn't find it. Okay, so we've got this new piece of equipment here, relatively new. I think it was the last update, not this one, the last one, where we got this skill scrubber here. So we can actually use this to reformat our duplicate. I've never actually used it in a game, so this will be interesting. But we'll see just how it works. So the reason I want to do that is because I want to bring one of these duplicates here, like Victor maybe, and actually just clear out all of the skills that they already have so that I can get them up to rocket piloting so that we can actually send them off to space. So this right here, this tier, once we get all the way up there, allows them to command a rocket. And if I go up a little bit further, then you can see that they have plus 10% to their efficiency. So they'll actually fly just a little bit faster. That does take a good amount of morale, so something to be mindful of. All right, let's see just how much space I have here. If I go 30 tall on my rocket, we'll put the rocket right down here, actually. That's not bad. Okay, so that's right where I want the base of my rocket. It'll have 5 research modules on top of it. This gives me a little space to work with down here. Not sure I'm really actually going to make... I don't think I need to make all of that. It was an interesting idea, but I don't think I need to make this little highway here. So I'll start with this right there, then we'll build all of the research modules on top of it and go from there. Okay, so now to make steam for this steam engine, essentially I can just use the environment. Look at how hot it is already. It's already 139 degrees right there. So a bunch of regolith around. Not to mention if I were to put it way up here, look at that. That's like 200 degrees. So there's plenty of opportunities for spots where I could literally just drip a little bit of water and have it turn into steam and then pipe it straight into this engine. Not a big deal. And if I allow for a little bit of a spot down here, the heat that this thing generates as it's compressed and launched out will actually put out a decent amount of heat that I could then potentially capture and run into a steam turbine if I really wanted to. And I could do that along with everything that I got going on up here. So there's should be a fairly large amount of regolith that builds up right there. So I can actually just drop that into a container as well. I guess what I'm saying is it's not hard to make that much steam. So here we go. Let's go ahead and throw down this ladder. Set the priority on this steam engine a little bit higher. Since I already built all of that steel in the last episode here, this should go pretty quick. This is 1,500 kilograms of steel. Delivered and built in like an instant. Way to go, Super Dupe. Stinky carried all of that all by himself. Let's go ahead and throw our research modules on there. Boom. Oh, gotta build, eat. I wish I could just cue this up. You're killing me, dupes. Build it. Build it now. There we go. Okay, there we have it. 5. Then we throw the command module right on top. And I'll have my first rocket. Now, because I have 5 research modules. Whoa. Come on. Click the numbers right. Here we go. I need 695 kilograms of fuel. So we'll go ahead down here. I'll just say 695. Boom. There we go. We'll fill it up. Okay, so we got the first rocket built here. It's ready to roll. But now we kind of have to work with the doors up here. We have to automate those just a little bit. So that we can actually launch. We used to be able to launch through doors, which was a pain in the butt, but we don't have to worry about that anymore. There's a new Humble Bundle available, Unity Game Development. This will run you through several different online courses, teaching you things such as how to design a game without using any code at all, or how to be an environmental artist using Blender. Those are 2 that are interesting to me, and there's other topics as well. If you use the link in the description below, not only will you go to help support several different charities, but you'll also be supporting my channel as well. Thank you guys for all of your support and continue to stay awesome. Peace. I've got going on here as far as the automation is concerned. The top one here will launch, it'll become active when everything is ready to launch. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use that to open up the doors so that the rocket can launch. Down here, this one is waiting for an active signal so that it will actually launch the rocket. Now, the rocket will not launch through closed doors. In the past, that used to be a thing. So what we can use over here is actually a Hydra Sensor. And it actually works in a vacuum. So we can flip that from above or to below. And essentially, this is the go or not go button. Essentially, this is automation. This is how you'd actually launch a rocket to a place over and over again. In our situation, since all we're doing is research, I don't want to launch to the same place twice. I want to go here, get my research. I want to go here to get my research. And maybe if it works out, I might want to go one further to get a little bit more research. Essentially, I'm going to want to get out of steam rockets as fast as possible. So I don't really want to build up too much stuff here. Essentially, we will end up changing this probably from steam to something different. So actually, I'm not going to worry about capturing any of this self-powering rocket stuff because it really isn't, it's just not worth the effort, in my opinion. At first I thought, hey, it might be kind of fun, but it's just really impractical. So I'm not going to waste your time with it. What I am going to do, though, is just to get this thing up and running, is I'm just going to go ahead to over here, and we're going to make use of some of this regolith that we are collecting from space up here, right? So we've got all of this. We're actually dropping it in. I'm going to use that to just heat up the steam and fire up the steam engine. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and throw a little metal pit, essentially. Not a metal pit, metal box down here, and I'm just going to fill it with water, and then that will turn into steam, and I won't, and that'll be my source of heat. There's plenty of heat around, and I can drop a bunch of that in there too. Let's take a look at this rocket calculator. Can I ever get it to go 20,000 with anything? Unreachable. What about with solid fuel thruster? Yes. With how many research modules? Perfect. Okay, so I can get 5 to 20,000. So I can actually reach 3 destinations with this one rocket. But I'll have to research, the very first thing I'll have to research here is going to be the booster, which means oxalite, but I have some natural oxalite on my base in my map that I haven't dug up yet. So I'll just use that. So down in here, I'm just going to put a couple of gas pumps. I want to make sure I have 2 so that I can fill it up in a reasonable amount of time. There we go, 1, 2. Maybe I'll make this just a tad bit bigger. And then essentially I'm just going to go ahead and seed this thing with the water bottle emptier. I could just dump water in there and it'll boil. So again, I don't need to launch this rocket more than 3 times and then I'm pretty much done. So I'll actually build that bottle emptier last. It'll probably be damaged through all the effort, so it won't last very long, but I should be able to get some stuff there. What I will need down here is another scanner. It's probably just a good idea to build it below the rocket. Although I don't need to, I could just build it off to the side if I wanted to. It should be relatively safe in this situation. I could do that. There we go. At least we'll keep everything on the screen. How much power do I have hooked up to this one wire? 1800. So it looks like I'll have to do some stuff with the power in order to get it to run correctly. So, by the way, I could use just a signal switch here, but then your dupes would have to run to it and actually flip it. So using a Hydra Sensor is kind of a cheesy way of doing it, but it works. These walls are double thick. There seems to be this weird problem where if a meteor hits it just right, the regolith might actually form on the back side of the wall, so that's why I'm making it double thick right there. My whole game just shut down. Alright, so I've named my first rocket here, Al Gore. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter here and helping support the channel. So yes, I'm naming rockets after your duplicate names as well. So I have several character names to go through that you guys have recommended, so. Alright, small glitch. The game crashed, and I lost a lot of progress. Oh no. Alright, let's make it work again. Yo, I should have more steel than that. Come on now. I should have mountains of steel. I have not used it all. Do I need to go look at it? What's your issue? Look at how much steel I have. 1,500 in that one spot. Got another 2,000 in the other spot. I should have more than enough. But you don't know it yet. You don't know it. Alright, fine. We'll make it out of iron. So there we'll run a gas bridge just like this. I know. Super complicated. Look at that. Alright, so another thing I need to do here is I need to detect when the rocket is going to come back and open up these bunker doors so that we don't accidentally crash into the doors on the way back, because that would be bad. That can still happen. So my rocket here is Al Gore. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter, by the way, and recommending a name for a duplicate. I've named my rockets after duplicates as well. So here we go. We're going to throw this one down right here, and I can use the automation signal from this to connect to these doors as well. Now, I'll probably put, once I get many different rockets and kind of build up more silos and whatnot, I'll probably have one for each down here. So they'll probably either be next to the rocket or below it. And if I'm trying to be efficient with my spacing, I'll probably just put it below it, which is kind of another reason to build all the way up to the top of the map. I hate to admit it, but it kind of makes a lot of sense. I like to have the space. I wish this was a little bit bigger. Anyhow, whatever. Although there are some other maps where the top of the map is slightly different in that it's the space starts a little bit lower in different spots. So once this game comes out and I start up a new series, which I know a lot of you guys keep asking that question, So now you don't have to keep asking the question. Yes, I will start up a new series, and I think I'll explore one of the more crazy maps. I think the ones with different layouts and lava all over the place. I think that'll be interesting. Anyhow, that might allow me to build jumbo rockets. I guess you can only build them so big, but this rocket's fairly decently sized. I mean, it's not bad. I guess it's kind of a normal size rocket, not really small. Okay, so one thing is, I now need a duplicate that can actually go in there. So who is going to be our pilot for Al Gore? Let's take a look at our duplicates here. Now I'm pretty sure, okay, who was it last time that worked a long time without a promotion? Was that Victor? I think it was Victor. Victor, you're going to become a pilot. Actually, you like cooking. So, Mantis. Sorry, Victor. You've been bumped. Mantis, you're going to become a pilot. So here we go. We're going to stick you in the respecking machine, and we're going to shake you up and reset your skills. Poor Mantis is just being shaken all over the place. Consider yourself lucky, Victor. Oh, that's hilarious. Mantis, you got a little bit more to go before you've been completely reset, but I understand. You've been shaken up. That requires a bathroom break. Okay, one last thing. Where are we at? I want to be able to retract this, and I also want to power all the doors. The problem is that my power grid, well, it was sized for this operation. So I need to work on power distribution a little bit more, otherwise I'll explode my wires. And that's what I was doing right before the game decided to crash on me and I lost all my progress. So let's get rid of these and then just build a mountain of more iron wires. I feel like this is just going to become battery land over here. Look at how much ore and everything I have now. I really went and I dug a whole lot last time. That last episode was long, by the way. I'm trying to make these a little bit more reasonable on my end so that I can produce more videos for you. Okay, so one important thing, if you have never been to space before, is that you need to build drywall behind anything that's open to space. Liquids or gas will pretty much just vanish into the tile behind it. This is close to, it's nearly, well, it's a void tile, essentially. So things will disappear behind it, even if it's sitting on top of it. So you need to build drywall. It doesn't have to be completely enclosed. If you have a liquid, you can, and you just put drywall right here, that puddle, that little spot of water will actually remain there. So it's not a big deal, but you do definitely need to do this number. So that's the whole purpose of drywall. And it gets interesting, especially when you're on the other end of a YouTube video. People are like, you missed a tile. And you're like, where? Behind a picture. And you end up spending like 4 episodes looking for it. Kind of been there, done that. All right, dupes, come on, speed it up. You got work to do. How in the world did what? How did Regolith get down there? Okay, game. So I've maxed out my 3 shine bug reactors. I think from here I'm just gonna have to step it up and make even more power. Woo-woo! Yeah. Anyhow. Oh, hey, look at this. We dug all this up. Beautiful. Hey, I might be able to play around with the pips a little bit. Although I really should be focusing on rockets, so... okay. Pips. Do something. Oh, hey, look. Dirt. You pooped a little. Congratulations, Pips. That's their purpose in life, is to eat trees and poop out dirt. Hey, wait. Where you at? I got one of these dupes that's just been reset. Mantis, there you are. Got all distracted here. You need to do rocket piloting. I can't just click on that. I gotta go through this, through that. Astronomy, exosuit wearing. Boom. Aren't you fancy? And because you're extra fancy, boom! Rocket navigation. You are the fanciest dupe in the base. Whoa, that was a weird sound. So now, let's put on your really, really fancy hat. Rocket navigation. Boosh, boosh, boosh. Everybody's gonna envy that. Until they figure out what your job is and what it involves, which is basically being locked in a rocket forever. Sorry. What is this? Why is there a damaged tile right there? Huh? Oh boy. Deconstruct that. Heat's gonna flow through there. I don't want that. So that has to go bye-bye. I'll work like a wick and head up into this solar panel and cause it to heat up. Hey, speaking of regolith and things like that, I'm going to build this right here. And then I can just kind of sweep and throw it in there. Although there's plenty in there, isn't there? That should work just fine. Okay, so I need an extra Atlas suit, don't I? Let's whip one of those up. Make it out of the aluminium. There you go. Oh, isn't that adorable? Look at it. Look at the little pipsqueak. Oh, they did update the art on that. It's slightly green around the edges. Little did you know that this is a horrible tear and I'm about to just run all over your base, mess up everything you've ever designed, throw stuff all over the floor. I just noticed all this time, and we didn't even have the arcade plugged in? Ah! Doops. Build. What are you doing, Stinky? What are you doing? Oh, no, you're okay. All right, there we go. Now we're seeing some progress. Good deal. We're gonna work through the problems, dupes. Okay, so one of the issues is I made this background building here out of sandstone. What I should do, if I could remember which one it is, furniture, there it is. Nope. Utilities. I should make that out of mafic because I have tons of mafic that's really close by. Crap, now there's a bunch of carbon dioxide down there. All right, let it vent. Oh, and some delicious meat. Okay, so from a power perspective here, I decided to hook 3 of these up to the rocket system so that I could just run doors and run things like the gantry and whatnot, and the space scanner. So it's on an entirely different power grid. It's going to be like 3 episodes of me just rewiring everything, and then like 5 episodes of building, and then 3 episodes of me rewiring over and over again. I'll run you through this automation in just a minute here, once we actually see it operate. Oops, I have an issue with my food down here. I guess as the air pressure's changed, I've managed to clear out all of the chlorine that was down here. So I'm trying to reinsert some more chlorine. Otherwise my food will go bad, which is not what I want to happen. We'll get that stuff built, and I'll take care of it. See right there, I have unrefrigerated food. It's a fair amount of this stuff right here. What I should do is just automatically ship out of this and then store it over here, but I don't want to cover all of that in this video. I got some other things I'm trying to work on. Essentially, this is going to look for carbon dioxide or chlorine, and if it's down there, then I'll just pump it up there. Not a big deal. And if this becomes way too pressured, which it probably will, I'll just put a normal gas vent up there, and that should take care of the problem. Kind of a band-aid for right now, but... Alright, back to the rockets. How are we doing up there? Looks like we're just about done here. Okay, looks like I could just tie this automation for the gantry in with the bunker doors, so it's all the same. Cool. Ah! No! Deconstruct that! Alright, so I'm going to put a filter in there. This rocket here is just a little bit too valuable to be damaging with the wrong type of gas. And then anything that isn't steam, that'll just go right there. I'm just gonna use a Hydra Sensor so that I can control this. There we go. What I want is steam. If I take a look at the temperature inside of there, it's hot. It's good. All right, it seems like everything here is built and ready to rumble. Let's give it a try. So what I want to do here is drop water down. So we'll go ahead and make that a nice high priority. We'll basically just fill this with steam, good old-fashioned way, and that should do it. If that doesn't work, I'll just pipe some in, but I think this should be just fine. So I can enable auto bottle, pull that out of my reservoir and plop it in there. Let's go ahead and make it a nice high priority. Somebody actually does it. So right now the liquid is right down here on the bottom, and as it's turning into a gas, we're just sucking it up via the pumps, and it is flowing over here into the rockets. I think I have the game running extra fast. There we go. Now we can see it. Okay, so we're going to have to wait for that water to heat up a little bit more. But we should be able to drop some more. There we go. Whoops. Bring on the water. Oh, it could be polluted water too. I mean, that works as well. Just kind of a weird method to do this. We just built this little box and I'm just using the surrounding temperature to take care of it. honestly, it works just fine. It's kind of fun. Oh, hey, look, I still do have a vole in my base. I might actually be able to do a full ranch. I didn't think I had any left. I thought I had to wait for the printing pod, but yes, we definitely could turn them into a farm or a ranch. That'd be kind of fun. One of the other things that keeps getting mentioned is potentially capturing carbon dioxide from these meteors up here. I think we could do that. We could turn it into polluted dirt and refine it into dirt if we wanted to. There might be some other methods that we could do with that as well. That'd be kind of cool. Although I think that's a little bit further down the line. I want to actually get in here, get the rockets up and running, and actually get my hands on some, thermium and stuff, so I can actually build some of these crazy systems that I've built in the past, such as the sour gas boiler machine down there. That would be really cool. There we go. There we go. Get that liquid in there. More of it. Ah! Not in a gas. No, not yet. Bam! There we go. Straight to steam. Here, I'll try to automate this. I've put 2 bottle emptiers right there, and then the Hydra Sensor. If it's above 1, then the door should open and we can drop more water in. Otherwise, it's closed and we hold in the steam. Yeah! I don't know if it's adding more or less. Alright, I'm not sure I'd recommend that. Ah! I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, so that was kind of a sloppy method of how to get the water in there. I probably should have just dropped it into a puddle and pumped it in there. But you know what? It worked out, and there's enough liquid in there now that we have water, 160 kilograms in one spot. This will heat up, and this will be enough to launch the rocket a couple of times, which really, that's all I need this thing to do. Just launch a few times to go to a couple different locations. So, Rocket Al Gore over here is going to set its destination for this carbon asteroid down there on the bottom left. So we have a destination set, but now we need a duplicate. So Mantis, come on up here and jump inside of this rocket. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to turn that off, so that is not going to launch the rocket right away, because I actually want to show you the automation for this. Okay, it's cycle 598. Once Mantis makes her way up here, come on, make her way up here. I think that's her right there. Boom! We now have a rocket, and it has all of the stuff, all the conditions are met. So at this point, we should be getting a true signal out of here. So this top signal right here becomes active when all of the checklist is complete. So if we look at this, we have a fuel tank, it's filled up, destination selected, cool, astronaut, has Atmos suit, all of that has been fulfilled. If we take a look at the star map, and we just go back to our rocket list right here, you see the first rocket we have, the only rocket we have, is Al Gore. Now its maximum range right now is 10,000 kilometers and 5. So that's why we did the calculation over here in order to figure out just how much fuel we needed, which was 695 kilograms. So taking that rocket and selecting a destination, which I could change right here, I can now essentially say launch mission. But the thing is, it wouldn't launch because the doors are closed above it. Now for this particular rocket, right, this one, the steam one, since it's only going to go to one destination once, and then I'll send it to another destination the next time, it's not a big deal if it, I don't need to automate it, I guess is what I'm saying here. So this one down here is awaits an active signal. This will essentially launch the rocket. So what I've set up here is an automated launch system. So once I set this to below, that will become active, right? So now this is active. So we're saying we're going to launch the rocket. That'd be the same as clicking launch mission here. So because of that, the automation signal is going to flip around as, needed. So the doors will open. The gantry is going to retract. We'll let this run just a little bit faster. There we go. So now the doors are open. And by the way, this space scanner is looking at that particular rocket for the return. So now these doors are open. The debris is going to fall down, and at this point, the rocket should launch off. Go, rocket! Yeah, buddy, here we go! And there we have it. Our first rocket launch into space. See ya, Mantis. So now if we take a look at the star map here, we can see that the Time remaining here is going to be 2.7 cycles. That's a 10% reduction. It would normally be 3 cycles. So we have to wait a little while for her to come back with all of the research. And now the automation has flipped, right? Because the rocket is left. So we're going to close up these doors and we will wait for the rocket to return. And this thing should detect the rocket on the way back and open the doors back up so that we don't crash it. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait till cycle, well, a couple of cycles. All right, so while we're waiting, let's go ahead and see what we have right here. I'm curious. What do you think it's going to be? Think it'll be that metal volcano I've been looking for? I hope so. Or it might be, I wonder if it's a slush geyser. That would actually be pretty useful. I don't know. We dug it up, but I didn't see anything. Okay, let me try again. Come on, duplicates. Just do a little digging. What is it? Don't know. Okay, come back up here and do it again. No, come on, you can do it. All right, here we go. Iron volcano. Yes! Not that I need iron, but there we have it. Okay, we're only a half cycle out before our spaceship returns. Although we are about to experience a meteor storm, so everything is kind of not seeing out into space. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. Sorry for the slideshow. The game just is not running all that fast these days. Okay, here we are. So now we are 0.3 cycles away from it actually returning. And you can see that the doors and everything are closed up here. So we currently cannot see the sky. However, we can still detect the rocket. So we don't need any sort of like exposed space scanner. Right? It'll continue to work as intended. So the doors are opening now. And the gantry has retracted. And you can see that this regolith here will drop down into the pit below. We'll see if any meteors actually can make it down into this area and cause some damage. Boom, there we go. So we got a little bit of regolith down there. The rocket should clear that when it comes back. All right, so this rocket should return any moment now. Here we go. This thing's just kind of doing its thing. There, we even got some iron out of that little movement. Cool. Come on, rocket. If we slow it down real quick. There we have it. There goes all of our research. So we got a bunch of data banks out of that. And just like that, Mantis is done with her little trip. And where's she heading? She's heading to the bathroom. All right, so at this point, if I didn't want it to run anywhere else, what I could do is actually just flip that switch right there, and that would disable it. So now these gas pumps here are refilling this steam engine so that we can send it to its next location. So we already went here, so I want to set it to a different location now. So we'll go over here. We'll check that one out. Now once this thing is refueled and our duplicate goes back in the command capsule here, then we will launch it up again. But now that we have some data down here, let's go ahead and do that research. And the first thing I want to research is going to be the booster. That way I can get to that third location and explore 3 different places. That also gets me right down the same line of getting stronger engines. Okay, I think Super Meep has all the data banks there. It's going to run down and toss it in the machine. So I acquired 300 data banks from that trip. So if we take a look at our location here, it was 50 for each research module that was kind of applied there, and then each one brings back 10 on its own. That's how we ended up with 300. So we'll do the same thing over here and then the same thing over there. Just get a lot of research. So here comes Bubbles, and she's going to do a little bit of research. Wow, that actually took a bit of time. How about that? I mean, that took like a second. All right, so the next thing we'll research here is going to be the petroleum engines. All right, so now I just need to wait a little bit for these gas pumps to fill that steam engine up, and then we'll be ready to launch. Because right now the destination is beyond reach, but once it is within reach, everything here will activate and it will launch all by itself. Holy moly, these ice makers have become hot! Woo! I'm running this thing so much down here trying to cool it down. All right. We'll disable them. We can still deliver ice. It'll just be around the map. Sorry, bud. You got a little crispy. It's okay. I'm used to crispy dupes. We've done this routine a few times. I was about to launch this rocket, but unfortunately this is like the longest meteor storm ever. So I ran out of power. Just before I had enough fuel. Darn it. Come on. Stop. Stop. You've been going for like an entire cycle. Look at that all. It's still going. Oh my gosh. Come on. Oh, finally. It ended. Just for a moment here. But now we gotta clear all of that regolith. That's a ton this time. Oh well. Okay, so once this rocket fills with steam, we should see that it will automatically launch. There we go. The doors are opening, and the rocket is about to blast off. Nice. Automated rocket. Beautiful. Off to gain more research. There we have it. Yet another rocket launch. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode here of Oxygen Not Included. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. And as always, stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.